Because I can't even minimize myself. You know, like how we do on the green screen when you're creating a YouTube short. But nonetheless, okay, you're good. All right, I just had to put a generic background on, so that way, hold on real quick, let me refresh. Hold on, give me a second. I was gonna try to, let me let her go real quick.
When it comes to selecting a wireless provider,
She
you
said
should
somebody
never have to
lied.
settle for less.
On September 2nd, 2025, Charlie Kirk did a speaking engagement at Visalia First Church in California. This indoor event drew 2,000 people, and around 60 law enforcement officials monitored Charlie's movements to and from the church, even deploying a drone to secure surrounding rooftops. On April 8th, 2025, Charlie Kirk did a campus event at Illinois State University, where more than a dozen campus police officers patrolled the 700-person crowd, and more officers watched cameras trained on nearby buildings from an operations center. The same month, University of Wyoming police assigned about 15 officers to an indoor Charlie Kirk appearance. By contrast, Charlie's outdoor event at the Utah Valley University on September 10th, 2025 had 3,000 people at the event.
That was a lot of people. I ain't even gonna hold you. That was a lot of people.
And only 6 campus police officers.
Several students have told us today they were surprised there was no security checkpoint. Anyone could show up to campus and walk right into the event. Not having any security is kind of weird to me, especially on a college campus.
Colin, what kind of a law enforcement or security presence did you see?
When I was, coming through the doors of the campus, I didn't see any security.
I thought there would be a security checkpoint, maybe a bag check.
Okay. It's a good point.
Ryan DeVries is among those still questioning the security plan for Charlie Kirk's event. He says he wondered in the moment if anyone was guarding the rooftops.
I didn't see anybody.
There were no metal detectors, no bag check, and event goers said they paid for tickets, but no one checked their tickets upon entry. This
What in the world? Well, what was the point of buying a ticket if ain't nobody checking?
is highly unusual for
Right.
an event of this scale, but
Especially
especially
3,000.
unusual given the circumstances. Counter-protesters and agitators show up to all his events, and leading up to this campus event, there was even a Change.org petition with almost 1,000 signatures from people who wanted the event to be shut down. This alone should have guaranteed tighter security, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Was this gross negligence, or was Charlie Kirk left vulnerable deliberately?
Let me cut the brightness up. I feel like I am struggling trying to see here. You had to buy a ticket, but ain't nobody checking the ticket. Let me let her
Hello
finish.
everyone, if you're a new viewer, welcome.
Hey.
If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If this is your second, third, or fourth time watching one of my videos and you are not yet subscribed, we already go together. Okay, make it official.
Look.
And hit that subscribe button. Before we get into today's video, I want to mention that this video
Hit
is
that
sponsored by
subscribe
me.
button.
This shirt that I'm wearing
I'm
is
this
part of my
old.
collection.
How
It's
old are
actually one of the
you?
most popular shirts right now. I'm
Okay.
wearing a medium, and this shirt comes
Oh,
in
the
men's and women's
VCR, the
sizes. I also
CD, the
have other
cassette tape,
designs
and
that
what
are
is that?
popular,
Oh, that
like
floppy
this one and
disk.
this one. I have shirts, sweaters, hoodies, phone cases, mugs,
I need to get
bags,
this shirt, honey.
stickers,
That
and more.
floppy
So be
disk
sure to
was
check out my
no
merch. It
joke.
is one of the
Stop
ways
playing
that you
with
can
them.
support me and the work that I do.
That
Now,
VHS
let's
is
get into
so
today's
serious.
video.
I'm
There
talking
are
about,
a number of things
ooh,
that I
the
want to talk
CD
about in this
clutch
video.
when we
There
had to
have
burn
been
them.
rumors circulating online that the company who constructed the memorial at the UVU campus was owned by Tyler Robinson's father, so I will go over that information.
What did she just say? Let her finish.
I also have some more interesting information about
Robinson.
Hunter Kozak that has gone overlooked, and I want to talk about the suspect security measures that were taken that day. As I mentioned in the intro, at Charlie's events leading up to this,
Sure.
the security measures were way more robust,
Sure.
and those events had less people than the UVU event.
Right.
Why the discrepancy? I've seen Baby Formula be more protected than Charlie Kirk was
Child,
that
let me tell you something about that baby for and that dish detergent, that laundry detergent. Oh my goodness, soap too, the body wash, Walmart got everything just let her finish.
day. Tyler Bowyer, the chief operating officer
Look.
at TPUSA, had this to
COO.
say about the security measures.
Look.
We've received thousands and thousands of threats. Charlie never complained about them or lived in fear. Our security detail, working with authorities, has thwarted dozens of serious threats, but he would never give up. He stared evil in the eye and tried to win them over. A Twitter user then responded, "Obviously that's true, so how the f was TPUSA security so lax that they missed a shooter on the only building with a clear shot to Charlie? They practically had one rooftop to keep an eye on. Unacceptable." And Tyler tweeted this in response. The answer to your question is that our team has a drone system for watching perimeter and hard to see places. They were not allowed to use it. Universities and university police departments who are separate from bigger city departments and therefore completely influenced by the university are notorious for shutting down drones and extended security perimeters, particularly with armed guards, because they often complain about militarizing the campus. We use the drone system in every event possible, including at our headquarters, and it would have saved Charlie's life in this instance to overcome the police's decisions on watch and perimeter. We do have a team. We can only do as much as police on campus will allow, and also working with the police or private security in a given venue. We run everything like a military op. All of our people are from that background. Well,
Child, you would have been better off not responding, honey, because all that, sounds like justification to me.
there's a few things I want to point out. Number one, TPUSA chose to hold this event outdoors
Outside.
rather than indoors, and outdoor events are obviously more difficult to secure.
The spokesperson said Kirk's team chose the outdoor central location.
We verified our security posture for the buildings, making sure people aren't on the roofs.
Josh Holland is the chief of police at the University of Wyoming, where Kirk spoke at an indoor event in April. He said there were more requirements there for attendees.
No bags, no weapons, no signs,
Right.
anything like that.
He
Right.
says they staffed the event with 15 officers, some campus police and some from a local partner agency, for a crowd of 1,800.
This event had tickets, but several people said no one was checking tickets.
I didn't have to show any tickets. I didn't know there were tickets going on.
Tyler Bowyer said that Charlie Kirk was receiving thousands and thousands of threats per day, and he said that they run these events like a military op.
That's not true.
So why weren't there even people checking tickets? And we know that enforcing tickets for entry is something that they have enforced in the past, because even Hunter Kozak had one of his tickets revoked in the past when he tried to attend a TPUSA event.
So Charlie Kirk, bastion of free speech and the marketplace of ideas, cut off my ticket.
In Tyler Bowyer's tweet, he mentions that the TPUSA
Remember,
team
that's the guy who was talking.
didn't have any drones because the campus didn't allow it.
Asking the
Remember
question.
this guy, the one who was fidgeting right before Charlie was hit, and people wondered if he was signaling to the shooter. Well, this guy is someone that Charlie Kirk considered a close friend, and his name is Frank Turek. And after the shooting, Frank Turek said this.
This was the first one I went to with him. And the reason I was there is because we spent a couple of days prior to that getting ready. He said, hey, why don't you just come to the first event? So we drove in, and as we were driving in, Charlie got some video footage from drones above. This is an hour before it was supposed to start, and there were thousands of people there. And I'm looking at the video footage, and I go, Charlie, I don't like this place. There's too many buildings. But Charlie, knowing that the people wanted to interact, and being brave that as he was, he just kind of shrugged it off.
So Tyler from TPUSA says there
Right.
were no drones because UVU said no. But Frank said that they did have a drone and they used it and they were able to see the crowd on the drone. And he said the crowd was very large and he was able to see this large crowd through the drone. So what's up with that?
And Charlie got some video footage from drones above.
And someone did happen to catch images of something in the sky that looks like it could be a drone. Another content creator from the Paramount Tactical YouTube channel said UVU was supposed to be responsible for securing the roofs.
When I released the video from TPUSA, apparently they requested that TPUSA told UVU that they were going to provide their own roof coverage and that they were requesting to fly a drone during the event. UVU turned them down on both and said that university campus police would actually cover the roof, and they did deny them access to actually flying the drone.
The last thing on the security measures that I want to...
All this back and forth, Lord. Oh, my goodness. Child, you know the worst place to be is over there on that Charlie Kirk thread on X. I just so happened to log into one of my accounts. I'm talking about that thread never sleeps. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. He is trending. Why is Charlie Kirk trending at 2 o'clock in the morning? Child, they don't sleep over there. But that Charlie
point out
Kirk.
is where they placed the few security officers that they did have and which areas were and were not blocked off. Now, I mentioned in my last video that the roof where the shooter took the shot from was very accessible and pretty out in the open. This is a clip from Taylor Hanson, a content
Did we watch somebody that said that it was somebody in the car behind them? It's a lot of narratives going around, John. You gotta... We was trying to get the Folio. I just saw her and I thought she was going.
and recorded himself walking the
You
same
know?
path as the shooter to demonstrate how
I was trying to get
easy
over
it
there to
was to
Folio.
get to the rooftop. All they had
The
to do
trial
was
is
walk up the
starting.
stairs and hop over the railing. Now keep in mind,
Yeah.
this fence was put up after the fact, the day of the shooting. This was all free and clear. All Tyler
Look,
had
remember, she's still on the narrative of it's Tyler and he was on the roof. I'm like, well, we've debunked that. So, I believe we watched another video from somebody the other day about somebody in the car behind her.
to do was hop over the railings and make
The
his way to
canopy.
the edge of the building where he had a clear, unobstructed view of Charlie. And what's most notable about this spot is that if anyone else had been walking over there, they would have easily spotted him. And we do know that some people spotted him from the ground.
So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying.
I just thought that that was probably like the most randomest video clip that ever like surfaced. Is that somebody on the roof over there? And look, Chad.
Where's my finger? Well, from over there, ran in. And now he's right there.
A
Another viewer sent us this image of a person standing in the exact same spot.
Why wasn't security patrolling that particular rooftop walkway? We do know that security had blocked off the other rooftop walkway that was directly behind Charlie. In this footage, we see the caution tape that was set up that day, and here is the guard running after the shot, so we know that there was a security guard standing in that taped off area before the shot. The security guards in that area would have had a clear view of where the shooter was right across the courtyard. And according to the charging documents, Tyler hopped over the railings onto the roof at 12:15 p.m. and Charlie was shot 8 minutes later. Tyler was there for 8 minutes setting up. The security guard right across the courtyard should have been able to see him, but still, Tyler got off his shot and got away. I feel like I've seen this movie before. It's so familiar. Many conspiracy theories have been floating around. Many people think that Tyler is a patsy and that the real culprit was somewhere in the crowd. Now, I disagree with this. I don't think Tyler is a patsy. Not only do I believe he did it, but I also believe that other people knew he was going to do this. And for those of you who are not convinced that the shot didn't come from the crowd, I want you to take a look at this footage. This footage was shot from the rooftop behind Charlie and to the left.
And we had it so it's positioned above the tent so it would be in the camera. Made us move.
Here is a clip played at 0.25x speed.
And we had it so it's positioned above the tent so it would be in the camera.
That thing was so loud. Ooh, my goodness. You heard it crack.
Because there's a gap of about 160 milliseconds between when she sees Charlie get hit and
then
when
when
the
she
shot is
heard
heard,
it, bingo.
that shows us that the shot came from a far distance and not in the crowd. But also, notice her reaction. She flinches, she's processing, then she runs. A pretty normal response. I would imagine that if I were in her situation, I would have reacted the same way. But there were some people whose responses were, they were a bit dodgy, mate, a bit dodgy. One of them being Mr. Hunter Kozak. In my previous videos, I mentioned some
Everybody been
interesting
talking
information
about
about
Hunter.
but I want to quickly recap, okay?
Right.
Hunter Kozak
Don't
hated
recap.
Charlie Kirk.
Do you hate Charlie Kirk? I know I do. Charlie Kirk is currently poisoned.
See what I mean? I don't feel like getting into this Hunter dude, man. Please, come
Mind of
on.
every young American who can stand to look at his stupid face.
Hunter Kozak worked for the Un-America tour where they would go to Charlie's events to antagonize him.
Right.
And in the past, their tickets were revoked, so they would have to sneak in.
Right.
Lucky for Hunter, this time, no one was
checking
tickets.
tickets.
Hunter's boss at the Un-America tour, Elizabeth Cohen Sanchez, called into Destiny's live stream and had a weird response to the news that Charlie was shot.
This is, did you see what happened?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like, dude, Charlie's gonna be fucking dead.
I'm pretty sure
Hey,
he's already
language,
dead.
language, people, language.
Dude, we're fucked. We are so fucked.
Hunter Kozak has been interviewed a number of
What's
times.
that- what
and
that
his body
mean?
language seems off, in my humble
Of
opinion.
course.
In this video, he's smiling while talking about what happened at UVU. In this 60 minutes interview, his emotions seem disingenuous, in my opinion. Hunter's father, Steve Kozak, works for
Right.
the Jimmy Kimmel Show as one of the
Right.
higher-ups.
Come
And
on with
we
the
all saw
recap.
the media
Yes.
psyop that happened where they tried
Afterward,
to
yeah,
use
Jimmy.
Jimmy Kimmel
Sure.
as a scapegoat
Yeah,
to
yeah,
censor
we know,
free
we know,
speech
we know,
after Charlie
we
was.
know.
And just an FYI, his father, Steve Kozak,
Look
also used
at
to work for
Steve,
Jay
Lord.
Leno. So Steve Kozak is very well connected.
Right.
And of course, we all know that Hunter was the last person to
To
talk
speak.
to Charlie, and he asked him a suspiciously ironic question right before the shot.
So, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
So that summarizes some of the information that I presented about Hunter Kozak in my previous videos.
Them
Some of you
transgenders.
may not know this, but Hunter was not the only person to ask a question that day. Before he asked his question, a young man named Henry Dells asked Charlie Kirk a question, and Henry has done many interviews where he spoke about his experience that day, and something that he said not too long after the shooting has gone under the radar.
Oh, go ahead.
Take a look.
Go ahead.
And then you got selected to ask the
Who
first
is this?
question. I mean, literally moments before he was killed, right? You get picked, you start asking your question.
Language.
So you ask your question, and obviously he's talking about Mormons there and wanting them to have a lot of children. And then you were done, right? And you passed the mic to the next person, right? And the next person after you, Henry, and this is something I don't know if has sunk into you, and really in so many ways, but that's the person who asked the question about transgender shooters, right? The question that was right before Kirk was shot. Now,
Get to the
I
question.
understand, Henry, that you did have a chance to speak with the person who asked that question. It was a man before the event started. What can you tell us about that conversation when you were talking about your questions, the chance that you both had to ask one?
Get to the question.
Yeah,
Right.
after we each kind of got selected, they picked about 4 or 5 of us to be at the front of the line. We each kind of had about 5 to 6 minutes where we just kind of discussed, like, hey, like, what are we going to talk about? What are your questions and what are your questions? You know, there was a lady that was going to talk about some abortion issues, which was understandable. Charlie talks about them all the time. Other was some racial issues, and his was transgenderism and, you know, why people feel like they are something that they aren't. And I never got anything out of that or even heard anything.
What the fuck did he just say? Let me hold on, give me a second, guys. He said something that I needed to make sure I understood what he said. Let me scroll back a little bit, rewind a little bit.
With some racial issues, and his was transgenderism and, you know, why people feel like they are something that they aren't.
Oh.
And
Oh.
I never got anything out of that or even heard anything where he was going to refer to anything about shooting. I think I don't know if it was purposeful or not, or what the whole thing was, but it was shocking to me just looking back after the events, the sequencing of everything. And I think it kind of just leaves me guessing a little bit.
So Henry Dells spoke to Hunter Kozak that day, and according to Henry, Hunter gave no indication that he was going to ask a question about gun violence. Why would he hide that information? It's weird and suspicious. And what some of you may not know is that Hunter at some point had aspirations of being a performer. Back in 2016 and 2017, he published music on Spotify under his name Hunter Kozak, and has songs like this one called If Looks Could Kill.
And out and she painfully smiles while the room behind her smells vaguely of bio mom and
All right, that's enough. Okay, so Hunter makes music, or at least he did in the past, and he's also acted in community theater plays, and apparently he was caught rehearsing for a role in The Crowd. Here is footage of Hunter Kozak in The Crowd
doing this
about 30 minutes before the shooting, and some people have speculated that
he
in
was
these
practicing
moments he was practicing his oh my gosh face.
I will never rap another president again in my life.
It was a thread. I told you it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had left my AirPods on the desk. And so I wasn't intending on scrolling through this Charlie Kirk thread at 2 a.m. on X. I was just trying to log into my account, and I couldn't because it kept sending that verification code to the wrong place. And they said that somebody had screamed out, "Stay down," before the shot rung out.
Hunter Kozak defended himself and says that he wasn't rehearsing his surprise
Of
face.
course,
He
why
says
would
someone near him had said something stupid, and this was his reaction, although he never specified what that stupid thing was that was said. So who knows? In my opinion, the way he reacted in that moment was very melodramatic, especially when you compare it to all the interviews he has done since.
A few moments later.
I have a brother who was in a school shooting, and I was talking about the distinction between these. That, like, for me,
I thought it looked pretty real.
There wasn't as much fear as I think I would expect, because I recognized immediately, like, I think I was a lot more logical than I thought I would be in that moment.
Another interesting tidbit pertains to Google Trends. For those of you who are not familiar, Google has a trends page where you can look up what terms internet users are searching for currently or have searched for historically. So for instance, you can look to see how many people searched the word snow in Mexico last April, and it will give you the data, and you can see how many people, if any, were searching that word at that particular time. So this is a good litmus test to see what things people are interested in at a particular time in a specific region. With that being said,
Interesting.
people have been looking for search terms as it pertains to the Charlie Kirk case. And if you go now on Google Trends, much of the data is gone,
Oh.
but some people have managed to screen record the Google Trend results. And look what this gentleman discovered as it pertains to Hunter Kozak.
Our friends in Israel were searching the name Hunter Kozak, or someone with an IP address originating in Israel. We're searching the name Hunter Kozak on 3 August 2025. Again, look at it again. Just, I don't want you to lose it because I'm going to switch it over to the District of Columbia in a second.
Oh.
I might even switch it to Utah. I don't know if I've done Utah yet. But on August 3, 2025, Hunter Kozak searched with an IP address originating in Israel. Now let's do the District of Columbia. Anyone within our nation's capital curious about this guy? No. Anybody inside the state of Utah curious about this guy? Only after the shooting.
Oh.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, there's Washington, D.C. At 11 a.m., the day before the Charlie Kirk shooting. And you'll see here where the news finally broke that it was, in fact, Tyler James Robinson. But notice that. That's weird.
September 9.
You guys have heard. Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence,
Right.
3 times is enemy action.
Okay.
That's the medical examiner.
Oh.
It is a woman named
Candace,
Dr.
come
Deidre
back to us,
Weiss
please.
Amaro.
Child, she been on vacation for 2 weeks.
She was announced as the new state medical examiner in May of 2024. So I'm interested in learning as much as I can about this medical examiner. I'd like to know more about this medical examiner.
CIA head
You
on.
know who else wanted to
Come back to us,
Dr.
Candace.
Deidre Amaro. It's our friends
Deidre.
in the state of Israel.
Look.
But check out this date, June 30th, 2025. A sudden spike in the interest of the head medical examiner of the state of Utah, Dr. Deidre Amaro, emanating from, once again, the state of Israel, for reasons unknown. What about Timpanogos Regional Hospital, the hospital where Charlie Kirk was declared dead? Well, there's pretty much no interest in Timpanogos Regional Hospital in the state of Israel because why would there be? Except this spike that happened about a month before Charlie Kirk's death. That is very odd. And it was a surgeon from this hospital that told us that Charlie Kirk was a quote-unquote man of steel,
Right.
and that his body stopped a bullet that
Right.
would typically just go through everything, and it was an absolute miracle.
Right.
We don't know yet which surgeon supposedly said that,
Uh-oh.
but here are a few surgeons who work at Timpanogos Regional Hospital. We got Dr. Stephen Nealman, Dr. Robert Patterson, Dr. Lee Peterson, Dr. Lee Trotter, just to name a few.
Okay.
I wonder if anybody was searching for these folks.
Stephen Nealman, July 18th, 2025. This was that of our friends on the other side of the planet over there. Very curious about the surgeons in Utah, you'll find out. Robert Patterson, MD, July 23 and 24. I go to the next one, Lee Trotter, someone with an IP address originating in Israel. Looking up surgeon Lee Trotter, near about that same July 20 time period. Are there other surgeons in the area? Yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. There's a guy named Lee Patterson.
Right.
So I look up Lee Patterson.
Right.
Somebody with an IP address originating in Israel in the week of July 20, that week on either
Again.
side of July 20, was very interested in all the people who practice surgery at Timpanogos Regional Hospital in Orem, Utah.
It's a little interesting. Something else that I want to debunk is the narrative that the company that paved the memorial suspiciously soon after the shooting is owned by Tyler Robinson's father. Now, Tyler Robinson's father does work in construction, but he did not own or does not own the company that did the work. The
Okay.
company that did the work is called Hardscape Utah, and the man who owns the company is named Daniel Morrell. Daniel used to be a realtor, then in January of this year, he registered the construction company, and in less than a year, he got big jobs, including this one at UVU. A lot of people in pretty new positions associated with this
Candace said the
whole
same thing.
Charlie Kirk situation, but I digress. That is all I have for this video.
She gonna make my head hurt. I was trying to go to Folio. I'm trying to get it with this sidebar. I don't want to get started on this hour, Lord, because let me swap mics. He had one that just dropped. Let me see if I can get like a little 30.
3 signs you're
Give me a little 30. Damn, I just figured, I don't know which one did I just swap out. Let me see if this is the one that needs. Let me see if I can get a little 30.
Then text back to you, and this is January 21st of 2021. Girl, I don't like Fulio. LMFAOOO, ugly ass. He need to die. And SHID, that was Will Friend, and then she shot me, and my friend died. Question mark, question
Look how
mark,
she
question
living.
mark. Yeah,
Is this the one that was
who
pregnant?
did it? What's she saying there? What's she talking about?
This girl is cooked fried.
Well, she's referring to somebody that had just died that we know. In this gang war? Yeah, we're basically just gossiping.
Oh, someone they know just died in the gang war. So she has an emotional reason to want to kill Fulio. Day 2 of the Alicia Andrews Fulio murder trial was not good for her. Alicia's close friend testifies to text messages from 2021 where Alicia admits she hates Fulio and wants him to die. These texts also expose she knew someone who died in high school from a shooting, and the victim is also a brother to one of Fulio's shooters. Some very incriminating text messages today. It shows she's well aware of the rap beefs going on, and she did not like Fulio at all, and they're talking about retaliating and shit. I don't think they really had intent because they're just 2 girls and they were both like 17. It's still a very, very bad look. So yeah, hit subscribe, let's go. She looked different on day 2. Her hair's all different. One of the first witnesses of the day is a hotel guest that was staying at the hotel that probably heard the shooting.
Do you remember what floor you were on?
Second floor.
And what was your room number?
2:30, I believe. So I was woken up by some popping sounds. My daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Smith, he threw me down to the ground and shielded me, and I was realizing these were gunshots I was hearing. My husband got up on the other side of the bed. He was closest to the window and looked at the window and saw a bullet hole through the window and yelled at us to get down. So we were all very scared and just stayed down until the bullet stopped.
Damn, daughter's boyfriend low-key saved her life. I mean, he put effort in saving her by throwing her on the ground.
To our phones, we called 911, we called the hotel lobby, and I called USF campus security because I was really nervous about my daughter being there. Yes.
And where were you, and what bed was you and your husband in?
We were on the bed closest to the window.
This one right here?
Yes, that's correct.
And then your daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Smith, was he in the other bed at the time when all
Yes,
this
he
happened?
was. Yeah, that's our window where the bullet came through.
And then 19E, is that a close-up of the bullet hole that was on your hotel room window?
Yes.
You said that there were bullet holes, is that correct?
Yes.
Where were the first bullet holes that you noticed?
We first noticed it in the passenger seat. As Brayden Smith got in, he noticed there were holes in there through the back.
I like your
And then
hair.
As I was climbing in, I noticed there was a hole in the back of my seat too, which is the front passenger side.
State's gonna call a
Ain't
bunch
she
of
the one that was
witnesses
pregnant?
and people that were affected by the shooting, obviously.
How long have you been with the Tampa Police Department?
Approximately 23 years.
Were you working on June 23rd of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that you were a sergeant, is that correct?
That's correct.
What was your assignment at that time?
I run District 2, Squad 205.
And I'm going to ask you specifically about June 23rd, 2024, the early morning hours. Did you respond to the home to suites located at 1606 McKinley Drive?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What time did you receive a call regarding that hotel home to suites?
Ooh, it
Approximately
was
4:40 in the morning.
Did you get any
in
other
the morning
information
time. We had
when
just
you
left
got
the
dispatched out there?
There was just multiple shots fired and somebody was hit.
How were you dressed on that particular time?
The same uniform I'm wearing currently.
And what type of vehicle do you drive?
At that time, I was driving a white Dodge Charger.
Had you or anyone in your squad gotten any information or intelligence that a rapper by the name of Julio Fulio would be at that club that night?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that also one of the reasons why you were set up at that particular location?
We didn't know he was going there at that current time. We knew he was going to be in the area. He might go to Teasers, which was off of Nebraska Avenue. But truth, we didn't know he was going to until later on.
While you were set up at Truth 18, did anything happen at that location at that point?
No, ma'am.
And you said you responded over to the hotel at 4:40 because of reference to shooting, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did it take to get from where you were set up at Truth 18 to home to suites?
Probably roughly maybe 2 minutes. One of the females was yelling, "Hey, her boyfriend was shot. Check on him. Is he still alive?" At that point, at the time, I looked over and saw the other vehicle.
What did you see when you saw the other vehicle?
I saw the vehicle sitting there, multiple bullet holes through the front windshield, and I also saw one gentleman laying inside the vehicle.
What did you do at that point?
I ran over to the vehicle to check if there's any signs of life. At that point in time, there's no signs of life. Noticed there was a blood trail running from the vehicle into the hotel. My other officers got on scene and proceeded into the hotel because we thought there possibly could be an active shooter inside the hotel.
Before we go into that, when you say that you checked for signs of life, how did you do that?
I checked for pulse breathing.
Was there any pulse or was the victim breathing at that point?
No, ma'am, it was not.
So this really is the first cop that checked him. Shit.
That's where the people got out of, and then the vehicle to the left is the one with the bullet holes and where the gentleman was laying.
And part of you, when you were testifying, you said that that vehicle, in order to get back into this hotel, did it leave the roadway at some point to make this entrance?
Yes, ma'am. It actually crossed over the curb area, sidewalk, and through bushes in order to get back into the.
Did you have any concerns about this vehicle initially when you first came into contact with the vehicle?
I thought it was part of the scene somehow. USF PD stayed with the people that were outside in this vehicle to secure this scene. Officer Godcharles found the bullet casings at the Home 2 suite, so he stayed at that scene. The other officers ran into the hotel to start doing basically a search to see if there was anybody in the hotel with a firearm or anybody else that needed injuries because of all the blood.
Why do you have Officer Guard Charles post at the scene where you find the shell casings?
Because that's the primary scene. Elevator where the blood continued up through the elevator.
During the course of your search, not only on the first floor but other floors, are there occupied guests in that Holiday Inn? Well, can you tell the jury, and you don't have to go into each one, but are there guests that are trying to exit or opening the doors or having questions as you're doing this clearing of the hotel?
Yes.
All right, cross-examination on the responding officer. See what the defense does here.
You discovered a Glock, or your unit discovered a Glock on Taifun McCray?
My unit did not. Not that I'm aware of.
Did anyone discover a Glock on Taifun McCray?
Yes. Someone at the, I believe it was HCSO at the Advent Health. What do you include as initial investigation?
So just like going to the scene, trying to figure out what happened, trying to help people, that sort of thing?
Yes.
All right, and after that day, did you do any work on this case?
No, sir.
All right, so that was your sole involvement in the case?
That's correct, that night.
All right, so you don't have anything to say about whether Alicia Andrews intended to kill Charles Jones?
No, sir.
No further questions?
I mean, yeah, that's basically the lawyer going up there to cross-examine him, because they kind of have to, because if they say they don't want to, it's going to look even worse. So he's just separating his client from really being involved in this officer's investigation. So they did an interview with Fox.
This is kind of getting out of control. We're aware of all kinds of things the council has given now to podcasts, and now you're telling me about this Fox 13 thing, which I know about that.
Well, again, I don't know if it's accurate. I just heard through the grapevine that it was going to air today.
Council's representation.
The grapevine.
I would ask for a gag order on all parties as far as any interviews with the media going forward until this
Not a
trial's over.
gag.
Okay, do you object to that?
Yes. Not that he necessarily intended to do any other interviews, but I recall at the beginning of this case, their possible supervisor doing a very extended interview with the news with evidence and names.
I know, but they're saying from this moment forward, no more. You object to
Moving
that?
forward.
We don't necessarily intend to, but again, this is.
Okay, so are you telling me you object to it?
Yes.
Okay.
We would object to it.
So-
We haven't heard one juror say that they have.
The state's over, they want a gag order so they don't do any more interviews.
Right.
I doubt they would do an interview during
In the middle
actual,
of
meat and potatoes of a trial.
Right.
But the problem is, if she gives the interview, the
Right.
damage is done.
Right.
Once it airs, the damage is done.
Right.
Let the issue arise ever,
So-
3 years. And then, but for the time being, no one's
Gay.
talking to the media about this case.
Be quiet.
In the middle trial.
Hush.
Did your duties include responding to
Finna go back and
the
forth.
area
Oh,
of
this gay.
3751 East Fowler on June
Who is this?
3rd of 20?
Yes, I responded to that call.
And about what time was that?
Thank you. Speed it up.
Came out about 4:45.
Why is it that you arrived to that area? Did you receive a call for service directly?
We received a call for service. I believe the original call notes were cars speeding through the parking lot and gunshots have been heard. And as we made our way to the scene, we were informed that somebody was shot at the location.
Obtained that information yet?
We had already known of the victim, Mr. Jones. Prior to the beginning of that shift, we had received some intelligence that he was visiting in town from Jacksonville.
CI.
And that he had some past
Snitch.
arguments with people in the neighborhood. And we
For
were
sure.
told us to keep an eye out for him and his
He in
movements.
the city.
Literally
He
knew
here.
of his whereabouts.
For
'cause
sure,
they
he gonna
know
be
he's
at the
a target.
club.
That's
Keep an eye
literally
on him,
why he
cause
ends up
he
in-
everywhere he go, child. It's always something. It's always something. He gonna be here. He done already posted it on IG. Ooh.
Not so much a teletype, it was just an email from our intelligence division. I'm not exactly sure how they obtained that information.
Snitch.
But we were just told that he was
CI.
staying at an Airbnb located somewhere out in the county, and that he was more than likely gonna be in.
He done
in Tampa
dropped the
for
low.
his, I believe he was there for his birthday.
He said
If
it
you
on
don't know,
IG.
The feds are always on Instagram looking at your Instagram. So post on your Instagram. They're gonna know the information. It's public. Don't self-snitch.
Was that relayed to you during your brief before your shift actually started?
Yes, we went over that in our briefing.
Okay, so you're telling us about that because when you got there and made these observations, you related those two things, what the information you learned from your briefing to what you observed on scene.
Right, we didn't officially identify him on scene, at least while I was there, but it was generally understood that this was Mr. Jones that was deceased in the vehicle.
Was that in part because there were also some other lay witnesses on scene at that Holiday Inn?
Correct.
Okay. Though you have a general idea from the manager about where additional people may be, is there still a process that you have to go through to ensure that you get there safely?
Of course.
Yes, generally, you are supposed to go floor by floor, using the staircases to clear out the building floor by floor, just to make sure that there's no other additional shooters in the building.
Oh my God.
Look
I'm gonna
at
have to
these.
blur some of this, but these boys are just laying in the middle of the hallway, terrified that the shooters were gonna chase them inside the hotel.
Yes, Mr. Norris is going to be the gentleman on the left in the white shirt, and Mr. Edwards is going to be wearing all black on the right-hand side.
As you made contact with Mr. Norris and Mr. Edwards, were you able to make any visual observations of injuries?
Obviously, Mr. Norris had the gunshot wound to his right shoulder.
You did, though, inquire of them who did this, and they just are reiterating, I don't know.
Correct. And Mr. Edwards, if I remember correctly, he had been shot 3 times in the upper arm, just below the armpit, and an additional 3 times on the right shoulder. And the staff at TGH had informed me that his upper right arm had been broken as a result.
Oh, it shredded the bone of his arm. Something about armpit injuries. Oh, it makes me like cringe. Like I saw someone get in a car accident before and their armpit was like cut open and bro, tentacle issues. What they mean technical issues? Let's see what the defense lawyer does.
And they had no idea as to who might have done this. All right, so they don't know Alicia Andrews?
They never mentioned anybody's name, but at least Miss Andrews, they never mentioned her.
All right, and you also don't know who Miss Andrews is?
No, sir. Pretty much it was just my response to the hotel and then my follow-up interview with them at TGH. That was the extent of my involvement in this.
Okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, we got a gun expert here.
Can you please repeat the question, please? Yes, when 5.56 or 300 blackout rounds pass through intermediate barriers such as automotive glass or automotive sheet metal, can those barriers have an effect on the integrity of the bullet, the projectile itself? Yes, sir. Typically, those rounds are jacketed with multiple types of metal, so they're designed to kind of come apart, especially through mediums such as tempered glass, which you find on automotive glass. So jacketing is on the exterior of the projectile? Yes, sir. And is it not uncommon for the jacketing to separate from the core? Yes, sir. It is. Is the core normally made out of lead? Typically, yes, sir. Officer, have you previously seen these photographs?
What's
Yes.
going on here? What is
Now,
this?
you understand these are photographs that
Ooh,
taken during
that
the execution of the
dishwater
search warrant in
dirty.
Jacksonville. You were not present for that, correct? I was not.
I don't understand why he put the box ripped up in the sink with water. I mean, what is he doing? Is that his way of disposing this shit? Why not burn it or something?
Does this appear to be another brass catcher that is not attached to a firearm?
It does.
This item here, is that the base
It's
plate
about
of
a
a rifle
crack.
magazine?
That is a base plate with 30 round PMAG.
PMAG, and that's made by Magpul.
Yes, sir.
Oh, let me hear. Okay, that's my cue. We'll have to catch back up in the meantime. In between time, he's ready for me. Love you. Bye. Mwah.